so these are my favorite time management hacks, guys. And one of the things a lot of people talk to me about is I have a very busy life. I do Ironmans. I do anywhere from 3 to 6 Ironmans a year. So I'm training about 16 hours a week for that. I run multiple companies, and I like my free time. So I always travel. I love doing stuff. And so if I don't have that happening in my world, then I become very overwhelmed. So, with stress, I mean, you have to have outlets and all sorts of fun stuff. So here's how we're going to cover it. Time management, I'm going to start off with saying something a little controversial, but you should know that about me by now, especially if you've watched some of these. There is no such thing as managing time. Okay, I'm going to be very honest about that. I have a very strong belief system that, time is something that is going to happen regardless. Those of you who know, I've been through so much, right? I mean, when I learned that the day I learned that there's no such thing as managing time was actually the day my mom died. There's no way, as much as I didn't want the next day to happen, or the next day, or the next day, or the next hour even, as much as I didn't want it to happen, I couldn't manage it. It happened. Time comes and goes. Like, you have no way that you can manage time. It is going to be 5 o'clock somewhere at some point today. And there's nothing you can do about it. So trying to manage that is just never going to happen. So whenever I hear people talk about time management, including myself, I always know that it's kind of a play on words. You cannot possibly manage time. So once you accept that time is going to enter and go as you choose, then you're at peace with yourself. The second thing is that, when I see people say that they want balance, I'm going to call that out too. There is impossible. If you want balance, you need to go live in the woods somewhere and have no distractions, no technology. I mean, this is a world where you want balance, but we can't get off social media, including right now. So how do you get balance? What is balance? And why do we want balance? That doesn't even make any logical sense. First of all, no such thing as time management. Second of all, those of you who are saying, I want work-life balance, that is just some fluffy thing that we've made somewhere that makes us kind of say, it's another way of saying, I wish I could just, have it all, but how do I control it all? Like, it's just really not going to happen, especially this whole work-life balance thing. I value getting everything you want in life. That's what I value. And life should be fun. It should be whatever you want it to be. But trying to balance things is kind of ridiculous, especially in a world where we have to be on all the time. I find that really interesting. So you're always like, if I go out for a run, sure, I might choose to not have any technology on me at that point, but getting balance, work-life balance, if you're a business owner, I don't even know how that's possible. Okay. I just don't. So what I'm going to teach you today is how to accomplish more with working less, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have balance. Balance is really just, again, it's something that if you keep trying to have balance in a world where we haven't had balance since the day you were born, so it doesn't even make sense. So you're trying to achieve something that possibly doesn't even exist. Third thing is, and if you notice, even very highly successful people, good luck. They don't have balance. If you have kids, how do you balance that? I don't even understand. So anyway, I throw out all concept of managing time. I've thrown out balance. Where are we going to go with this, right? Where you have to have a system that you're going to habitually follow. Once you have a system that you follow, what happens is that you're using the time like an exchange. Time is your most valuable commodity. That's what you want to see it as. And what you have and what you give and what you get and the returns that you get from your time, that is where I see this as being the most powerful thing. So how do you do so much and not burn out? That's not balance. That's me using my time extremely effectively. I have systems in place that run that for me highly effectively. I don't have balance better than anybody else just because I can do more things in it. It only means one thing, is that I have systems in place that allow me to accomplish everything I want to accomplish, and I feel pretty damn good about it. I'm feeling energetic. I can get up. I'm up at 4:30 in the morning. You know what? I feel fantastic. So there's different things, but that's not balance. That has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the fact that my input and my output have high returns, and I treat time like a valuable commodity, and that's really important. So I'm going to give you 8 things that I do, some 8 hacks. First thing is I establish my time in 3 segments. So I do my whole time system, especially for my business, is designed in three segments. The first segment, and this is exactly what professional athletes do. Okay. And I wanted to take you into the Tom Brady analogy. So Tom Brady, before all the drama, he was the most, and he probably still is, the most successful quarterback in the industry. So do you think that he practices, takes free time off, and has the mindset of the Super Bowl all in one day? He doesn't. Okay. Now I don't know that for sure because we're not buddies or anything like that. But I will tell you the thing about Tom Brady is that, or any professional athlete, is they have days that they practice, and that allows them to be better on game day. But on game day, they're not stopping the game halfway through the game going, I think I need to make a call and talk to my accountant for a second. I just remembered I have to do something. They're not doing that. And they're not saying, hey, listen, the game's gone on for an extra 20 minutes, man. I'm out. I'm going to go. I got to go eat dinner. They're not doing stuff like that. Okay. In game day, they have a game day mindset. Okay. And on practice day, they have a practice mindset. And on their free days, they're resting their body. So that's exactly what I've done in my business. So in my business, I segment my business up into 3 days. And what a focus day is those are the days where, again, it's running 24/7 to get the money-making activities. Okay. Now, here's the thing I'm going to take even further back. I treat every day like a 24-hour clock. Most of you who are going to watch this treat your days 9 to 5. That's what you're doing. That's something that in the corporate world we were trained to do, but equally go further back. And it's not just the corporate world. It's since we were children. We were taught to get on a school bus at 8:30 in the morning. Then we were taught to have lunch at noon or whatever when the bell rang. We got our 2 recesses, and then we end our day around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Bus takes us home. We do some homework, and then from 5 o'clock onwards, we're free. Okay, I see that everywhere in sales industries where everybody treats their days that like a clock that they're punching in, punching out. It's the old school corporate days. What you want to treat your day as is a 24-hour clock. Okay, it is. If you choose to sleep 7 hours versus 10 hours, well, that's okay. We all have 24 hours. That just means what are you doing with the rest of them? Okay, so when you treat your day like a 24-hour day, instead of a 9 to 5 day, like we're programmed to do, that changes probably every dynamic in your mindset, period. It's absolutely brilliant. So treat your days like a 24-hour clock. You don't have to end, and especially in a sales job, I don't know why you would start at 9 o'clock in the morning and finish at 5. I see some people rolling in at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then they're done at 4. And I'm going, that's not even an actual day. So I'm like, so there's like all sorts of crazy stuff here, but treating it like a 9 to 5 job is not, it doesn't make any sense. You want to treat your days like a 24-hour clock. That's really important. Okay. So when I'm segmenting my days, understand what I do. I take 1 free day every single week. That's my next hack. So I take a free day every week. It starts with that. And every Friday, or if it's not a Friday, it's a Saturday, but 1 day a week, I'm taking the entire day off. 24-hour clock completely off. Okay, so that's important. And when I take that day off, it's recharging my brain. That's like the Tom Brady analogy of taking a day off and resting his body. So you want to take a 24-hour clock, you get it off. And if you can't find anyone to leverage it to, forward your phones, put on an auto reply. Everybody has auto reply text messaging now on your phones. So put an auto reply on your phone, forward your email with an auto response, change your voicemail and protect it. And then if you take any business calls or jump into business, then you need some help. You need to figure out what to do. You need to get a life, because I can tell you when I take my free days, nobody hears from me. Okay. I don't answer calls. I don't care. If a client even is in desperate emergency, I have people covering me. If there's an emergency, they'll deal with it. Okay. It's important to give your mind a 24-hour break. And did you know by giving it a 24-hour break once a week, your production jumps over 45-50%. It's ridiculous. Okay, so your production level will jump so high, it will be incredible by 1 day off a week. Those of you who are saying, I love my job, I love my business, I love it so much, I can work every day, I just love it, I love it, I love it. That's nice, okay? I don't know what to say, except I love having fun, and I look at my career as fun too, but it ain't the same kind of fun. And if you need a little bit of a lesson on that, talk to me, because I can tell you, fun for me is like way different than if you're saying that you want to work 7 days a week. Okay. I don't know many people, like your brain needs to know. Now, the reason why it needs 1 day a week, I will tell you very simple, is because if your brain doesn't get a rest and it doesn't shut down and just have some fun, it actually overworks itself and it tries to protect you by making you sick, making you tired, making you depressed, making all of the above. Okay, because what it's trying to do is it's trying to kill you. I mean, it's not trying to physically kill you, but it is trying to essentially kill you, I guess you could say. And it's not a bad thing. Like, it's not trying to like literally murder you, but what it's trying to do is it's saying, you're not giving me a break. That's what your brain's doing. It's saying, you're not giving me even a day of rest. So you might love what you do, but your brain's telling you, look, I need to like catch up on all the information. In this period of a day, you're seeing 20, 30,000 different thoughts running through your head. Give your brain a chance to just relax a day a week. You can love your job as much as you want, but if you are really going, I can't understand, why I need a day off, try it. Just try it, okay? You don't even see what it could do for you. Just take consistently 1 day off a week, forward all your stuff. That's one of my key things I like to do. So take a day off. I run it in 3 segments. I'll explain more on that. And then also, like I was saying, I treat things like a 24-hour clock, okay? Now, on the flip side, that's my free day. Every week I get 1 free day. And by the way, that's not called a vacation, okay? It's not a vacation. That's a separate thing, okay? My free day is my free day. Next thing I do is I have to have administration days. So I have to have the days that I'm an actual CEO because I'm super creative. If I don't get those, I get really grumpy, okay? But I also lack creativity if I don't get them. My juice has to flow in my brains and I gotta go, okay, I wanna plan. I wanna do that. So anywhere from 1 to 2 days a week are 100% dedicated to what we call buffer days, which are days where we are CEOs and we're doing our office meetings, we're doing one-on-ones with our team members, we're designing things, we're working on marketing. These are what we refer to as non-money making activities. They're CEO activities on the business, in the business, difference, right? So when you're working on the business, that's your 2 or 1 or 2 buffer days. That's your CEO days. They're amazing. And for those of you who are very creative, you can see what happens. It's the days that when you're dedicated to only spending 2 days or 1 day a week on those things, you're going to plan out. I always say 3 projects I'm going to move forward every single CEO day. So every CEO day, I pick 3 projects, I move them forward, away I go. And what happens is that it's way more effective because the brain doesn't like to jump in and be like, oh, if you're Tom Brady, it doesn't work well if you're going, okay, I want a half day off and then I'm going to go to practice and then I'm going to go to the Super Bowl. That's not how the brain likes to work. It wants to wake up and know, what are we doing today? We're going to Super Bowl? Great, let's do it. Let's get our routine. Let's get our head going. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And then when you're in practice day, the brain wakes up differently and it has different things that it ignites in you. That's the same thing as a CEO day. It's your creative day. It's the day that you're going to be like, yes, I want to be a CEO. You're going to get caught up on paperwork, all the crap that you've got. So that's your CEO day. I do 1 to 2 of those every single week, depending on how many projects, and I love them. They never go past usually 4 or 5 o'clock unless my head is just like buzzing. Sundays is my CEO day. One of them last night, I was up until I think about 11, I was just creative mindset. I was having so much fun. I was just caught up in the moment. I looked up, I'm like, gotta go. So anyway, the point is it depends. But as long as you're moving 3 things forward in a project, sometimes those days can be done at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's about taking 3 projects as a CEO and putting something in place that you're moving your projects forward every week. And then you'll move those projects a lot faster. How you can see is if somebody says, oh, I'm trying to do the following, right? And they're like, oh, I'm trying to move a project forward and you never seem to move it forward. Usually it's because you're trying to squeeze it in. When you have a dedicated day to be a CEO every single week, that does miracles to your business. You'll move things along faster. Second, the last day is what we call focus days. Those are game days, Super Bowl days. Usually anywhere from 4 to 5 of them a week is what I'm looking at, okay? And those are the days, they run long. They require a lot of energy. They're your money-making activities, so lead generation, lead follow-up, booked appointments, listings, deals, offers, showings, you name it. Those are the days that you're doing direct money-making activities. You've got to have the brain and the power to go, I'm all in. Okay, those days are a 24-hour clock. That means you set the intentions for the day. If I want to make 1 or 2 appointments, I'm going to design my day right up until midnight because it's a 24-hour clock. So if at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the afternoon, I haven't hit my target yet and I have everything planned out and I haven't hit it, I'm not stopping because I'm not a child in preschool. I am not done at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I have a goal. That's why I'm segmenting my days. And then the more you hold yourself accountable to that, the more you'll build your skills on those days and watch what happens. They get shorter and shorter. And if I reach my goals and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and let's say I had a goal of booking 3 appointments, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I hit 3 appointments, I give myself permission to be off. I'm like, I hit my goal. That was my purpose of my money-making day. But I don't equally, if I don't hit 3 appointments and that was my goal for the day, I keep going until I do. And if by 9 o'clock at night I still haven't hit it, I'm going to look for emails to send out, things that I can do. I'm going to really, really try. That's the whole point. Okay. And then if it doesn't work and I'm missing my targets, then I bring it back to my coach and I say, what's not working here? Right. But the point is that I segment my days into those 3, which is brilliant. So I plan my days into 3 segments. I do a 24-hour clock. I take 1 day off a week. The 4th hack, I never let clients tell me the times that they're free, ever. Okay, I have a Calendly link that I send out, but I also equally, if our Calendly link is sometimes not working properly or something like that, then what I do is I tell my clients, guess what? These are the days I'm available, and if my clients don't like it, that's okay. It's not their fault, but at the same token, I don't recall ever calling my doctor or my dentist. I had a tooth surgery a few weeks ago, and I don't remember calling the periodontist saying, this is when I'm free, book him in my schedule. It was the exact opposite. It was, if you want this fixed, man, you're going to have to, if you want the best in the business, you're going to have to, do 8:30 in the morning. So I did, right? So you got to do what you got to do with those kind of things. That's very important. But I never let them tell me their time. I always tell them mine, either through Calendly or giving them 3 options that work. Okay. Very important. If you are suffering from somebody being inefficient in your team or your organization, one of the best things to do to track your time, get yourself, it's called Harvest. Okay, so it's Harvest. Harvest is what we use. When we're trying to track the efficiency of something, we use Harvest. And Harvest is a great time management tool that can track everything you're doing. So basically what you do is, and I know some of you might say, why are you doing this with your assistants? We have multiple assistants and we have multiple team members all over the world. So unfortunately, when you have 13 people and everybody's all over the place, you have to use something to figure out, am I missing efficiency on some level? So what we do is we give everybody Harvest and we say, okay, every month we take a look at our time efficiency. And we do it for everybody. So it's not like one person is called out. Everybody, including myself, tracks on Harvest. So we all set up for Harvest, and once a month, we take a look at our efficiency level, and we'll run it out for about 3 days or so. We'll take a look at Harvest. And what we do is that Harvest is a great application where you just type in your task, and then you push start, and then you don't move on. When you move on to another task, you can stop, and then boom, put in the next one, start the timer. It's on your phone or on your computer. And what that does is at the end of the day, it breaks down how many hours did you actually work. Okay, you can't jump. Okay, you can't be doing lead generation and then take a break for 20 minutes and then jump back in it. You have to stop the clock. Okay, so you stop the clock, you just stop. There you go. And then when if you do 20 minutes of lunch, put in 20 minutes of lunch and you do whatever you do. But Harvest is a great app for that. Sorry, I'm moving all over the place today. I was sitting on my foot and it fell asleep. Anyway, so I'm short, man. I'm trying to get a little height here. Anyway, so Harvest is a great app that really works well for checking that. And if a lot of you are working with VAs, that can be a really good one. Or if you have assistants that are in different countries, different areas, or whatever the case is, you can use Harvest to track that as well. And it allows you a chance. Don't use it as a punishment or anything like that. Use it as a tool to track your efficiency of your input and your output. What we ended up finding is that out of our whole team, we actually found one person that was only actually working. It was one of the highest paid individuals in our organization, was actually only working 4.5 hours a day. 4.5 hours a day, and no matter what they did, they couldn't BS because they were like, I'm legit, and the person is like, I'm only working 4.5 hours a day, and I'm like, okay. So I said, well, I think we're gonna have to change that, right? So anyway, so we changed it, and we were like, okay, well, like you're gonna have to work like 8 hours a day because there's definitely work for you, but you have to. And it was 5 days later, the person quit. They're like, no, and I was like, that's the problem with not working together. This individual was a very expensive hire that we had in a different city, and they were billing us for 8 hours a day. And I was like, this just doesn't feel right. And so I said, well, we're integrating you. And that's what ended up happening. So it was actually kind of funny to watch. But anyway, Harvest is great also personally. If you have nobody accountable to you but yourself, and you really want to flesh out what's happening, try Harvest for 3 days, give it a shot. Don't cheat on it. Like, be really honest with yourself and watch. It will tell you how many hours you're actually working in a day. So another lesson, we're going to move on to number 6. What I can't do well, I leverage out and hire somebody to do for me. And I don't care what it is. If you can do it better, I don't even care. I hire somebody now to make my food because I'm like, honestly, I've decided I'm not as good as somebody else to cook my food. I know that sounds terrible, But I don't care. Every now and then I say, you know what, screw it, let's get somebody to do that. But in business, if you have somebody who can do something better than you, just hire them to do it. I mean, it was Richard Branson who said that. And I was like, very solid point. I'm like, why try to do things that you're not going to do as good as somebody else is going to do for you? Okay. Next thing is my workouts. You guys know I do 16 hours of working out in a week. What I hate seeing is just because we're entrepreneurs, that doesn't mean you can roll into the gym at 10 o'clock in the morning. If you're segmenting to your days like me, then you're going to actually have to segment your days. Get up at 4:30 in the morning, do your workout. Don't say you have little small kids and you can't work out at 4:30 in the morning. You can work out at 4:30 in the morning. Okay, anybody can. Put on a pair of running shoes, get at her, buy a treadmill, put it in your house, do whatever you got to do. But I do my workouts at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning at the latest. And then I also do my workouts at the end of the day. I feel really good about it. And I'm like, okay, if my day ends late, which it does a lot of the time, then I'll do my workouts at the end of the day. But the point is like I said, if you break up your day, I don't know who said it in what book, but they said if you break up your day in the middle of the day and do a workout in the middle of the day, it's good for you. I don't agree with that at all. Okay. I do mine first thing in the morning. I feel so damn good working at 4:30 in the morning. It is not easy to do that, but let me tell you something. You do a 1 hour workout at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. You guys probably don't have to do 4:30, but 5 o'clock in the morning, and you do 5 to 6 in the morning before everybody else is awake, and you hammered out your workout. That is a euphoric rush. I'm just going to tell you that. And then the last thing that is a hack that I like to share is that I plan all my vacations first. Okay. If your brain works in a way that you really have to plan those vacations up front. Plan your vacations, and you don't have to plan a year in advance necessarily, but plan the months of vacations first. As we head into April, my suggestion to you is book all that time off that you want first. Don't wait till the last minute. Plan your dream vacations, everything you want to do in April, plan it first and then work around it. Okay, so very important. I'm going to recap this. 3 segments, okay, that we plan out. I run on a 24-hour clock, not 9 to 5. I always take 1 day off a week because it's important. There's statistical proof on that. I don't let clients tell me what to do. I give them my calendar links, okay? They always pick in there. I use Harvest for time tracking. What I can't do, I hire out always. Upwork or Fiverr are the 2 go-tos that I like to use. I do my workouts at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, so it doesn't mess up my day and it gives me a positive start. And I plan my holidays in advance for the month ahead. April is already planned. All right? Enjoy those hacks, guys, and keep me posted.